Before you post another reel, I want you to stop and consider this. According to the consulting firm Accenture, more than 65% of people consider trust as the most important thing before deciding to work with a brand. And if you're a coach or a consultant, congratulations, you're a brand. And of course, trust is important. Actually, I'm surprised that percentage isn't higher. It is getting harder and harder to tell whether or not content is AI generated. Hello, 95% of the content on LinkedIn right now. And frankly, a lot of people have spent money, a lot of times a lot of money, with coaches and consultants who have no business being in business and they've gotten scammed. So before you can sell anyone anything online, you've got to figure out how to get them to trust you. And in 2025, trust has got to be the central pillar of your personal brand. And here's the tricky part. Being visible is not the same thing as being credible. So here's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about what thought leadership is actually and what it isn't. We're going to talk about what you need to be a thought leader. And spoiler alert, it's not a PhD or a gazillion followers or anything like that. We're going to talk about why the way I recommend you use thought leadership as the foundation for your brand is actually really advantageous for coaches and consultants in particular. And I'm going to wrap it up by telling you exactly how you can start integrating thought leadership into your content strategy, starting with your next reel or post. And I think you're going to be surprised about how easy that is. I'm Laura Zavelson, and this is the Gen Expert Show, where we talk about how to grow your coaching and consulting business so it lets you build for retirement. It gives you the time to take care of the stuff that's important to you, and it lets you be confident that you never, ever have to be out there looking for a job again. So where does most personal branding go wrong? I think the party line on this, it really focuses on having a consistent look and feel and kind of a one-hit wonder message. And I think those things can be important for helping you be remembered, but they don't do a great job at building trust. The best way to build trust has nothing to do with how you look. It's actually sharing how you think. It's letting people know how you got to the opinions that you have, the reasons why you teach what you teach. The thing about thinking about branding as creating a vibe is, it can get you a lot of your, ooh, you're so inspiring comments, but it's probably not going to get you a lot of clients. So aesthetics matter, don't get me wrong. They're really good for, again, helping people remember you. They might help differentiate you. But a brand that's grounded in what you think is going to be way more compelling than a brand that's grounded in how you look. And when you start explaining to people how you think and why you think that way, well, that's thought leadership. So I want to clear something up. Thought leadership is not about being famous or having a TED Talk. But if you want to get a TED Talk, thought leadership is a great way to get there. Thought leadership just means that you have an opinion that's grounded somewhere in your expertise and experience. You have a point of view, you have a process, you have a way of solving problems that helps other people. So it's not hype or posturing. Basically, it just pulls back the curtain on what you actually do every day to help your clients get results instead of that being kind of a black box. Because when you put it out there, people can say, oh, that makes sense. And then that builds trust. And when you talk about how you might go about solving their problems consistently, well, that's when they start seeing you as the go to expert in your area. So here's why thought leadership is particularly an effective branding and content strategy for coaches, consultants, and experts. Look, you're in the business of helping people make big decisions and big changes, pivoting their careers, building their businesses, leading better, leveling up. Your brand isn't just about you. It has to be about how you help people get what they want. And your thinking, the way you explain or diagnose or reframe, they need to understand that before they're going to be ready to make a buying decision. So here's why thought leadership gets you there. First of all, it pre-sells your value. It filters in right fit clients and, hopefully repels the ones you really don't want to work with. When you're explaining how you solve somebody's problems, they don't see it as a pitch. It's a lot more authentic. And then finally, this type of messaging and marketing is a lot easier to sustain because it's based on what you already know. Let me put it this way. Everyone else is building a brand around who they are. But when you build it around how you help, people are going to start paying attention to that because now you're not just a coach for midlife women or a consultant for overwhelmed teams, right? You're someone with a method. You have a model, you have a message, and that's what's going to help them finally get from being browsers to buyers. Okay, so hopefully this has been enough to encourage you to try at least integrating thought leadership into your content strategy. So, how would you actually start? Well, first, I think you have to get clear on what makes your approach work and how it's different from other solutions that are out there. So maybe think of what common advice that just makes you go, oh, no, that's not the way to do it. I think that's a great place to start. Then, what I want you to do is think about how you can standardize your method. Break it down into 3 to 5 steps or pillars or stages, right? Because then that becomes a framework that you can start talking about consistently. And that really helps people understand what you do, right? And then start sharing it. Teach it, break it down, show people how it solves their problems. So, what I hope that you're starting to see is how simple this can be from other marketing strategies because you're leaning on your existing experience and positioning yourself as the expert on how you do your job. Here's the main thing I'd like you to take away today. If you base your brand on showing people that you understand their problems and how you work and how you get results, you're going to have a never ending supply of content that invites people to be your clients. So if you want to try this out, you know what I got? I've got a 10-minute thought leadership prompt pack, okay? It's just a few content prompts that'll work for blog posts, for social media, even if you hate self-promotion, okay? These are a great way to just test out thought leadership and see how your audience responds. So grab that in the description. Thanks for watching. And if this was helpful for you today, I would love it if you'd like and subscribe. Now, go build something smart, and I'll see you in the next video.